There are a number of areas as well which the opposition has commented on, which requires critical analysis. And I now turn over to the chairman of the Manifesto and Achievements Committee, the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith.
Thank you, Senator Fitzhenley. And thank you, colleagues. Good afternoon to media present. Good afternoon to... It's not on?
Yeah, it's on.
Yo, yo, yo. Good afternoon to everyone who is with us here in the room, and of course, everyone who's joining us online, everyone who's watching in Jamaica, and of course, overseas. I have a particular love for you, so welcome, and again, we're glad you are spending time with us. I'll just try to touch on a few areas, and I want to start with the title of the PNP's manifesto. And I want to make it clear that my view is that, and my considered view, is that the title they have used is the most insincere and disingenuous title which the PNP could have chosen for their manifesto. Why do I say this? They have spent the last 3 to 4 years tearing down Jamaica in every forum, whether domestically or internationally, maligning our systems recklessly without any concern as to the risk to which they have put our systems or our beloved country. They have maligned the media, which affects our global media freedom positioning on the index. They have accused us recklessly and baselessly of corruption, which affects our transparency perception index. We are grateful that the Media Without Borders or Journalists Without Borders do, however, check their facts, because we have continued to do very well within the Caribbean on that index, and we have continued to score the highest as compared to under the PNP's administration on the Transparency Perception Index, because it is recognized that the facts do not match with the PNP's narrative. However, not only to tear Jamaica down internationally, but to start your campaign with the mantra of blood and fire, recalling one of, if not the most politically violent periods in Jamaica's history, at a time when the government is working relentlessly to restore peace. And then, as you approach the election date, you magically seek to print a document with the word love on it and the word Jamaica on it, and expect that the Jamaican people should accept that you are truly a peace-loving party and that you are truly a patriotic country, when all of your conduct over the last 3 to 4 years has crossed the line long ago beyond productive and constructive criticism and opposition into unpatriotic and anti-Jamaican conduct. It is disingenuous, it is, to put it softly, insincere, and I want the Jamaican people to be clear that the PNP has shown you who they are, and so we must believe them. One document, slapdash, cut and paste, AI generated, however you put it, it is not sufficient to correct who they have shown us themselves to be. The next point that I want to take is more on the lines of content. And again, however, regrettably, I have no conclusion other than that they are, again, entirely disingenuous or perhaps uninformed. The extent to which their policies replicate or repackage policies and programs in place already by the Jamaica Labour Party is astonishing. It is astonishing. And I heard someone this morning on the radio describing it as continuity, which we should celebrate. But that is in fact not the case. If it were continuity, they would say so. But what they have done is actually position the programs and the policies as if they are new and as if they are theirs, without any reference or acknowledgement to the fact that there are things in progress. That is not continuity. That is political and intellectual dishonesty or ignorance. The Jamaican people can assess and decide which one it is. Neither one is good or ready to lead. If I take that approach and apply it to the Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade section of the manifesto, because as my colleagues have worn their portfolio hats, I'm going to wear my hat for a little while. Their very first proposal, if I recall correctly, is that they will restore active re-engagement within CARICOM. Who is chair of CARICOM? Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness is the chair of the Conference of Heads of Government and State of CARICOM at this point in time. For the second time, we have chaired COFCOR, we have chaired COTED. Prime Minister is also the chair of the External Trade Negotiations Committee in the quasi-cabinet of CARICOM, one of the areas which is most critical and on which he's leading now, given the various trade challenges which are affecting the region. We were the very first country in the Caribbean. Prime Minister Holness was the first Prime Minister in Parliament to call for the UN to assist Haiti. He was the only, and is to date, the only CARICOM Prime Minister who has gone to Haiti to meet with stakeholders, to engage with their leadership and their political and stakeholders with a view to finding solutions. Jamaica hosted 2 Haiti stakeholder meetings, including the one that delivered the breakthrough for the establishment of the Transitional Presidential Council, which is currently offering leadership to that country. To say that you are going to actively re-engage, are you uninformed or are you politically dishonest? Again, Jamaica must make the choice, having looked, but neither is good. I want to make the point as well, in respect of their engagement with CARICOM, that when we took office, I'm sure you must all know, even if you didn't personally experience, but how Jamaicans were treated when we traveled within the region was not good. And it was particularly bad with Trinidad, and our goods were not given access to their markets, and we have literally fixed both problems. We now travel with very good relations. They're not perfect. No system is ever perfect when you're relying on individuals to implement systems, but government to government, across administrations on their side, and certainly as it has been over the last 9 years, massively improved. And something that we continue to work on. Our trade within CARICOM continues to be positive. And in fact, we've even had several win-win circumstances where we have been exporting refined oil to Trinidad, which they are able to add value to and export elsewhere, earning on both sides. So again, to actively restore engagement, we're not sure where they're coming from with all of that. I want to also note that they have said that they will be working and restoring on international cooperation and human rights and self-determination, etc. But Jamaica has stood on every forum or in every forum for the territorial sovereignty of Guyana and Belize in their territorial disputes. We have stood with Ukraine in their with the war which has sought to offend the principles of territorial integrity and sovereignty. We have recognized the state of Palestine with a view to seeking a 2-state solution. We are the first government to make that recognition since independence, which means that the PNP has never done it, even though they're willing to try and raise a flag, again demonstrating that they are all about gimmicks and image and what they think people want to see out here. But when it comes to doing the actual work, the Jamaica Labour Party is doing it already. They say that they're going to engage the diaspora on constitutional reform, but Minister Malahoo Fort has been having town halls in the US and in the UK, and this process is not done yet. So they're not adding any value to the area of foreign affairs and foreign trade, and I really, really suggest that they do a little research and maybe check out our website. Now, there's another matter that I want to raise in this area, because they also said that they will restore Brand Jamaica. And I also have to make the point, because it's related, that they have not even mentioned the word multilateralism in their foreign affairs section. Multilateralism is the core of small state foreign policy. One state, one vote is the only way for countries like Jamaica, like our CARICOM member states, small island developing states, to have an equal voice on the global challenges that affect us all, like climate change, like financing for development, and other major issues. And to not even have it referenced in a passing way shows a fundamental lack of understanding of where we are in the world and what we need to do to navigate the very choppy seas which exist. And in restoring Brand Jamaica, I have to ask, which PNP leader or member has ever been invited to the G7? Which one has ever been invited to the G20? Which one has ever been invited to BRICS or BRICS Plus? I don't know if any have. In fact, I know they haven't. But I can say that Dr. the Most Honorable Andrew Holness has attended. And I'm happy to announce and make public that over the past month, he has since been invited to the G20 again by President Ramaphosa, the incoming president of BRICS. Of the G20. He has been invited to the G20 again by the incoming president of G20, President Ramaphosa. So we're not speaking about things that have long gone and that things have changed and our reputation has changed. Not at all. Prime Minister Holness, Jamaica, and indeed the government under the Labour Party is held in the highest regard internationally. And if I just add one more, and I know, Mr. Chairman, that I can't go on forever, but which of their leaders have ever been asked by a UN Secretary General to lead any global initiative? Again, the answer is going to be the same to both, because Prime Minister Andrew Holness has been asked to lead more than one on climate finance, on financing for development, on the Sustainable Development Goals, and on which he co-chairs the SG's Leadership Initiative. I will deal with one more issue of content, please, with your indulgence. On crime, the PNP's manifesto is an absolute and complete and abject failure. On crime, the PNP's manifesto is a complete failure. In a country where organized gangs are responsible for more than 70% of murders, are directly responsible for more than 70% of murders. The PNP's manifesto does not even include the word gang. There's a vague reference to scamming networks in a sentence somewhere in it, but they have not even said the word gangs. They absolutely 100% do not understand how to deal with crime in this country. On the other hand, the government, under the leadership of Prime Minister Holness and Dr. Chang, have been relentlessly dismantling gangs, bringing them down from over 300 to just over 100. And that has not changed the percentage or proportion for which gangs are responsible for murders. It still remains at an average 70% because it shifts even with gang activity. I want to make it clear that this fundamental lack of understanding is the very same reason why under the PNP between 1990 to 2007 when they were in office, Jamaica became known as the murder capital of the world. It was under them and their poor crime management that murders moved from 400 to over 1,000. It is under them between 2012 and 2016 that the gangs reorganized, even though they inherited a downward trending murder rate when they took office from the Labour Party in 2012. So this is not a party that you can trust on crime. They have an opportunity or had an opportunity to demonstrate an understanding, and they have failed. I want to make it clear as well that even with that massive demonstration of a lack of understanding, in addition to that, we have more of their cut and paste, because of their 27 crime proposals, so the sensible ones, 70% of them are already being done. We are doing them already. And since we're doing them successfully, I think that the Jamaican people must understand that we are the party, we are the government in which they should put their trust on crime. Giving them responsibility, again, is going to undoubtedly reverse the gains that we have had. We are already celebrating more than 40% reduction, supporting the security forces with more mobility, more technology, more strategy, more training, more welfare support, better working conditions, more police stations that are renovated, built, and restored. And in that context, it is the Jamaica Labour Party who is the party that you should trust on crime. So I know that there are more things that can be said. I want to just make clear that Minister Morgan will be taking forward the issue of roads in the days to come. Minister Samuda will take on the environment and water in days to come. He did, however, ask me to make the point that on funding of NGOs, the government is already funding small NGOs in the environmental sector under the GEF Small Grant Fund, and he thought it was very important that I make this point. So I'm making it for him, but he will raise other matters. And Minister Green will also take forward issues on agriculture. So I know, Mr. Chairman, that there are more things to discuss, but I will close on that point. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senator Johnson Smith, for a contribution which has made it clear that whereas national security and foreign affairs are concerned, the Jamaica Labour Party administration is achieving positive outcomes on behalf of the people of Jamaica. On the